Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. We are here in a very celebratory mood, and we'll explain why all throughout the evening. Mostly because it's Tuesday, and why wouldn't we be celebratorying? I got my celebritants here. We'll start with this guy, Kevin Ricca.
I mean, I'm in to celebrate anything at any time, but I also am chomping at the bit to hear a little bit about why. Why?
It is a joyous occasion. Tim
right,
Strachan.
well, we deserve
So
it.
you didn't know either, so I didn't know. I thought I was the odd man out. I thought you guys were in on something, and I was on the outside.
No,
but
I'm happy about
I
this.
am also very excited to find out what's going on. I do love Tuesdays. I wish it was a Victory Tuesday, but you can't always get what you want. You know, you can't always get what you want. It was
said. They said it in the song, and truer words have never been spoken. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the basement. Welcome to headquarters of the year 1 AD, where we are, again, in a celebratory mood. We got E.O. Anderson, Greg Martin, Ken Harris on the board so far. Please, if you're watching this for the first time or if you haven't yet done it, hit the subscribe button. We're so close to 5,000. It seems like it's a huge number for us. I know we're not going to compete with Mr. Beast
Kevin's
anytime
wearing
soon.
one of those Borat
Oh, yeah.
string bikini briefs that goes over the shoulder if we get to 5,000. Is that
I
what
thought it
is?
was a dongness, like
Yeah,
a
I thought-
harness.
I don't know
It's
what
all
they
of it.
call it, but the
Right,
one that goes
yeah.
over the shoulders, that's what he's wearing if we hit 5,000. So let's go, guys.
I'm gonna
Let's go.
oh,
5K.
Let's get him up. Let's get him up.
just rubber band me right when we hit that 5K.
Yet, you know what? I'm going to put that on the list of things we're celebrating. 'Cause
Yes.
We're so
Yes.
close. We are so close.
Let's get him there, guys.
About 100 or so subscribers away. So please help us out. If you hear or see anything you like, give us a thumbs up. We do appreciate it. And since everyone on YouTube says it, hit the notification button and let you know when we're going live. Why not? It seems like that's what everyone else is doing. So that's, why wouldn't we do it? All right, hey, you know what? We lost. We're 4-6. Let's just get right to it. It sucked. We lost to the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. It was terrible. I'm just gonna race
Jet
through
lag.
this. Just gonna race through
jet
this.
lag.
Let's start with the worst part about it. This tells the story right here. I mean, this is it. We've been good on the stat. Kevin, don't worry, I'll give you some
I
binoculars.
love it every week.
Every week, I know, and I think about
It
it too.
surprises me every week too. I'm like, oh my god, wait, never mind.
Nope. I guess I'm out of the segment. We compete in the team stats department on a regular basis. Even though we're 4-6, we've had better games than this stat wise. We were 7 for 15 on third downs. That's a bright spot. Otherwise, Seattle whooped our butt. They kind of had us edged out pretty much everywhere, and everywhere that mattered. On top of that, so I don't know.
But it didn't feel that way.
It kind of did though, didn't it? Like it felt like we
didn't
felt like we
think
got beat.
so.
I mean, how about this? Till the last drive when we tied it, I kind of thought we had a chance to tie it because it was Sam Howell, but at the same time, it was when we did tie it, I was kind of like, hey, we just tied the game. I mean, it was exciting, but I mean, if you were watching football all day long, then you saw what happened in the most games ever in the history of the league for the with everyone winning at the buzzer with a field goal. That was, I mean, it was kind of just read those tea leaves, but
Oh, it was so fun to be one of those teams that also
yeah,
lost that
exactly.
way. It
We're
was
right
great.
right in it. All right,
It's the worst
6
way.
walk-offs.
It's the worst way to lose when you know it's a slow, painful death. They're going to kick that little mini field goal. You're like, God, just do it.
that's right.
Get it over with.
Let's see. Going again from worst to best. I thought this was
Wait,
a pretty.
go back. It was
Go back
how
to
much-
team
I was
stats?
just right at rush.
Oh yeah, there you go.
68. That's
Yeah,
it.
68. That's where I was going next. There you go. Here you go. Bam. That's just not an inspiring rushing stat line in any way, shape, or form.
Robinson was a beast, just more in the passing game.
Not as a running back.
On about 3 main receptions, but
Yep.
Well, we only average 88 a game, and we're in the bottom 5. So this is to be expected on a weekly basis.
Absolutely. But even this was, I mean, because it seemed like when they decided to run the ball late in the game, in fact, it was the fourth quarter when Robinson rattled off 2 straight first down runs that resulted in first downs. I guess also they weren't necessarily playing against the run in that particular scenario. But anyways, running powerhouse we are not. This was a good looking. You know what? Let's just get the crap out of the way. 1 sack. Let's just let's just say it on the defensive stat line. 1 sack. It's just
Well, that's what
not
happens
good.
when you send off your 2 all-pro
I guess
defensive ends.
we weren't pressuring him either. We weren't doing.
And then another one goes down.
Yeah, JS dub. So
Our defense is
poopy.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's just not a good defense.
No, it's not. It's not a good defense.
It's not.
And offensively, it's still our line. I mean, it's just
Sure. Well, let's go to the bright spots. There's two. This is a bright spot. Once again, a crowded 11 guys got targeted, 9 guys got catches. Ryan Robinson, obviously, everyone knew going in he was going to be the leading receiver in this game.
Number 1 running back in the NFL in yards after contact.
yards after contact.
In the reception game.
Yes,
In the reception game.
Catching balls.
Seriously.
Yes. Yeah.
You imagine that's your job. That's your stat you got every week.
I can. I think about it a lot.
my
I'd
gosh.
love to be the yards
Oh
after
yeah,
catch
those
guy.
guys. I sat next to those guys. By the way, it's a crazy operation that they run. The next gen stat guys and all, they sit in the press box. It's crazy. I mean, they in real time. It looks like electric football. They have like the football field on a screen. They see every player, and after every play, they hit a button and they log every single stat automatically. How fast the guys ran, how far they ran. You know, what everything that they just did on that play goes right into the old computer. It's crazy. All right, so whatever. McLaurin got led the team in targets. That's the way it should be. Didn't have as many catches as we'd like, and no touchdowns, obviously. But 3 touchdown passes again for this guy. And listen, this is a bright spot. This is a huge bright spot. And this leads right into why I'm choosing. How about that? Why I'm choosing to be in a celebratory mood on this Tuesday night.
This is it.
This is it.
Because you finally
Well, shit,
realized he's
Ken.
our guy.
No, not just we. Not we haven't. We've been saying since the summer, really since after the Dallas game, with a million caveats, saying, "Hey, listen, we don't want to be the guys to say after one game he's our guy." We thought he was a guy when we saw him play. We thought all summer long he was going to be the guy. We thought in the preseason he looked good. We've been careful not to keep our minds open to the fact that you need a body of work. You need something to lean on. You have to understand how the league works. You can't just anoint people. But even as recently as last week and the week before last, you still had plenty of people on social media, on ESPN, on NFL Network. It was always said with a question mark.
Because they're miserable people.
Well, but how these are national media talking heads, and they're
They're
saying
miserable.
they're miserable people, but they're like, the big question in Washington: have they found their guy? Do they have a quarterback? What are they going to do this offseason at quarterback? Will they draft Caleb Williams? All this other crap.
There's other huge questions.
I understand, but quarterback is the capital Q question,
And that's why.
it's answered. It's totally answered. We have the guy, our guy. He stays healthy, and this season is a huge success in terms of the biggest thing you need in the NFL. The number one, the search of all searches in the NFL is for quarterback. We've been doing it for a long time, and it's our search is over.
And so many people who didn't like it, he was playing well at the beginning and wanted to blame someone else. And it's just so many people just didn't want to believe. And I get it. We've been hurt. We're like a beaten dog down here looking for a quarterback. Since that Buffalo game that we all talked about, we knew it would be a tough one. We knew he would have a tough game like that. 4 picks and nothing went right the whole night. Since then, 7 starts. The guy averages 67%. He's throwing 28 for 42, but he's throwing the ball 28 for 42 on average over that 7 for over 300 yards. It's a 14-4 touchdown to interception ratio.
Yep.
And I can't possibly imagine how else he could have done more to help this team in that 7-week span. Yes, that Buffalo game, a lot of the haters had really clung on to it. Since then, there is nothing to hate. You're stretching, you're doing your best to try and find it, because since then, he's been lights out. And I don't care if he had that game. We knew it was going to happen at some point.
Everyone has it.
You got
Even
to
the best
have
guys have it.
It was almost
Even
like
the best guys
get
have
it
it.
out,
You're
get
right.
it all out, get it all out, get all 4 out.
He'll
today.
have another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll happen.
He's had 4 interceptions in 7 weeks since that 4 interception day.
That was the thing that stuck out. 14 and 4.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
And did you see those stats where he's leading the league in
Oh,
several
you mean
categories?
these stats, T? You mean these stats when we talk about?
I'm looking so intently, I feel like I'm going to see something I don't want to see. Don't hit that weird button, Ken.
I would never.
Yes, you would.
Let's see. Here we go. You guys don't. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's so disappointing.
Don't
It's
hit the secret file.
He's going for the most of the most.
This is it. This is it. And it's no, I tell you what, this is the second one. I'm doing it on the fly. We're gonna put that one down. We're gonna do this one first. Here you go. I apologize for the doing it on the fly here, guys, but that's 17 quarterbacks in the league, the top 17 quarterbacks in the league. That's our guy. And CJ Stroud has had a bye week, and his season has been impressive. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, his last 2 or 3 games have been unbelievable.
Sam Howell's still top 5 in yards per game, and that's something that if we all would have been told after 10 weeks, we would have been thrilled to hear before the season started. Top 5 in the NFL in yards per game. You're damn right.
The most attempts, which is whatever, but the most completions, 66.5, as you said, 17 and 9. It's pretty damn good. 91.5. I love to see a 9 handle. He doesn't have the highest rating. He doesn't have the highest percentage, whatever. He's getting it done. I mean, I think what I was boiling on to, he's our MVP. I don't even think there's any question. Is it even close?
No.
It's not even close, right? I mean, it's not even close.
He's our best player.
He's our best player.
And our MVP.
I mean, that's
I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah.
He's our most valuable player, and he's our quarterback. So I mean, like, I got a big smile on my face, and I thought I was thinking about that as he led our team yet to another fourth quarter, drive that tied or took the lead. And that's I mean, just for a second, let's talk about that. I mean, the throw to De'Ami Brown was so next level. I mean, when you talk about the way in which guys perform at a high level in the league. And you ask, and there's so much crappy quarterback play in the league, and we've had it in burgundy and gold ad nauseum for like the last 15 years. It's not guys.
We own that.
Yes, that throw goes so wrong so many ways, and like half the guys don't have the balls to even try it. That was such an on the money throw. It wasn't a toss up. It wasn't a dice roll. He hit his guy, and he did it in a way that made 2 defenders look stupid. And it was, it was so gutsy, and it's exactly who he is. It's exactly who he is. I mean, I'm just saying, again, he's our most valuable player. He's the best player on our team at the most important position. That hasn't happened for us in a long time.
Long time. Long time. And it feels so good. Now you don't have to worry about whether we're going to go find our guy or if we have enough money. Now you can stock around him, and he doesn't cost us anything.
Doesn't cost us anything. And I think people inside the building were probably already, understanding that. And I think we already were. We're trying to preach that for the last 2 months. Hey, listen, we got a guy that's not making anything and he's producing at a high level. What else do you want? I think, interestingly, the last month or so has changed, well, to people who don't matter, like us, and people who don't have any decision-making ability or power at all. If anyone was down, I mean, I think we're all happy or content and expecting Josh Harris to take a big broom and clean house, at the end of the season.
There's going to be some housekeeping.
But we got to keep Eric Bieniemy based on what's going on with Sam Howell.
We've had this discussion, and at least, I mean, I thought Kevin and I were on the path of why not give Eric Bieniemy an opportunity to at least show his chops.
This season.
Unless you've already made the decision, you're moving on from everybody, so the downside of which is you now breaking up Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking about whether he should be head coach. I'm not asking about what we should do with anybody else.
Are you going to tell the next head coach you have to take Eric Bieniemy?
Well, but the first question, before we even get to that, all I'm saying is what value do we place on keeping Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy together? And I think it's got to be like pretty decent value.
So here's the deal. Of course, it's decent value, but I think the idea that the franchise needs the right guy moving forward is going to be bigger than Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell.
Okay.
To the franchise, to the Josh Harris, to the guys that are taking over and trying to hold. This is a whole lot they got to take on right now. I'm not sure that they're sitting there in their meetings talking about their financial infrastructure, determining whether or not Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell need to be together. Now, it has to be discussed at some level, but I'm going to be hard pressed to have someone tell me that Sam Howell wouldn't be able to have success under someone else who had a good offensive mind, or that Eric Bieniemy couldn't take another rookie and do some magic somewhere else. I'm just saying, yes, that magic clicks. Yes, I want it. Yes, it's evident. It's not always, like T said earlier in the show, you don't always get what you want. I don't think that it is by all costs, by all means necessary, Eric Bieniemy or bust.
I agree.
Because of him and Sam Howell, when in 2 years or a year and a half, Sam Howell could sign elsewhere or say, I don't want to be here anymore.
Preferred.
So
it's preferred.
It's preferred, but I don't know if either of them depend upon each other to move forward. I don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
That was the question. That was all
Bieniemy
I'm
doesn't
asking.
need Howell. I mean, he could go somewhere where there's a better quarterback, I guess. But I mean,
I don't disagree with the fact that they don't need each other. All I'm asking is there any kind of lightning in this bottle that we
Yes,
want to
that's
keep?
our preference.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be close. They're always going to be football family because of what happened this year between the two of them.
Yep.
I think Sam Howell has helped Eric Bieniemy immensely because no one else has done much to prove that he can be a guy that can call the plays and run an offense. He's crushing it. And obviously Bieniemy has had a huge say in why Sam Howell has been successful.
Yep.
You'd be blind not to see that both ways. I just don't think that it's going to be the end-all, be-all. I think the way T said it, the preference would be certainly to have year 2 of those two together for me as well.
That's my preference as well.
The blatant preference, but I don't think that you're going to get Josh Harris saying it's an all hands on deck. We've got to keep Eric Bieniemy type scenario. I think that the problems that he's going up against are way bigger than football.
I think he's already made his decision. He's maybe already moving on from everybody, and that's why they haven't fired Ron and let Eric Bieniemy at least
Ken Harris says this,
get
which I
get
think
an
is a
interim
good point.
shot at it.
If we lose the Giants,
100%.
You're
I was just
firing.
going to say it.
he's gone. He's gone the next
If
day.
we lose to the Giants, somebody has got to. Somebody has.
Can we
to
fire
go.
Ken Dorsey also? Ken Dorsey's getting double fired.
Get out of here, Ken Dorsey. And we can't fire each other or ourselves because we've been in this too long.
Yep.
So have you guys. If you're watching this right now,
We're all in
if
this
you're paying
together.
attention, we've been in this thing too long together. It's too late for any of us to fire each other. It has to be somebody else.
I vote Ken Dorsey. Ron Rivera's gone. Jack Del Rio's gone. I mean, listen, of all the reason why we've kept Ron and Jack together for so long is because right when you want to fire them, in every single season, they've gone in Dumb and Dumber
they've turned
style,
it around
totally
and made everybody
redeemed
look
themselves
stupid.
with a crazy November.
I said it. I
And they
said
have
it
to
like
know.
2 years ago. I was like, I'm never gonna question him again. But here we
Here we
again.
are again. And you know, beating the Giants doesn't prove dick. I mean, at the end of the day, the thing is, there's like few teams in the league that are effed harder than the Giants. I mean, I think there are maybe one or two, but the Giants and they
Yeah,
can
it
never
would
take
prove-
that loss
it
away
would
from
pro-
us.
It would prove things aren't as bad as they can be. Because if you lose, to the
It's not
Giants,
even about
it's pretty
winning
bad.
against the Giants. It's about not losing.
It's about
Yes.
not losing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, an ugly win, which is the most likely scenario because that's how we do.
Can I just tell you something real
Please,
quick?
please.
The Cowboys had 32 first downs against them last week. Hold on. 640 yards of total offense. They're 8.3 yards per play, 472 passing, and we're 6 for 7 in the red zone. That's like Scully. That's
That's like
7 on
Alabama
7.
versus School of the Blind in like week one.
Yeah,
But here I have 3 stats the Giants countered with. They went 0 for 12 on third
By the
down.
way, the School of the Blind just
They-
called. They would have were pretty.
They have 172 yards of total offense, and they threw for 61 yards. And most of that was on the final drive with the touchdown thrown to make it 49-17 with 6 seconds to go. It was the most thorough demolishing of an interdivision rival you can possibly imagine. Can you possibly imagine?
I mean, if we lose to that team,
I'm gonna be. I just made myself a little sick.
that
But
quarterback.
does that mean that you keep them though if you win? I mean, that's
No.
where I am.
I don't think you're like, oh yes, they've proven themselves. No, you don't prove yourselves by beating this team. You keep your job by not losing to this
That's
team.
it, and that shouldn't be on a week-to-week basis. But
Yeah.
if we lose to these guys this week, there's
so fast.
we got to Ken Dorsey the shit out of everything. We just
Yeah,
gotta.
Ken Dorsey might be our new coach after this.
Hey, if Tommy DeVito steps out onto that field,
Straight out of mom's basement.
I mean, I cannot.
Mom, oatmeal. I mean, the guy's living at home, and we have made that that player looked like a Hall of Famer over the last 20 years.
Leading receiver, Daniel Bellinger.
That's
He had 2 for 34. And I'm not sure. And I play fantasy and I do all the stuff and I pay attention.
Is anyone racing to add that guy?
I do not know you, Mr. Daniel Bellinger, but I imagine if you're the leading receiver against us this week, then we're all going to be happy and overjoyed for you, as well as us. Tommy DeVito to Daniel Bellinger for the win, Giants.
It's so terrible.
No way, it's not happening. It's not happening, right?
It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't think anyone's predicting a loss to the Giants, but you know.
How do you count 32 first downs? Like, oh my God, they just won't stop. 8 first downs a quarter.
There were people talking about like that the Cowboys, you know, I mean, you ran out of players to put out there. I mean, maybe they kept Dak out too long. I don't even know. What a terrible conversation to be having at the professional level. I mean, I certainly don't care. We've been on the other end of that plenty over the last 20 years.
I don't know if we've been on the back end of a 640 handle or an 8.3 yards per play.
Well, we
got trounced once last year. Who was that?
We've been trounced at least. Well, we got trounced this year by the Chicago Bears.
640 yards.
640 yards is a lot. I do remember when Bill Belichick went for it on fourth down, and when he was up 42-7. I think we ultimately lost like 52-7, if I'm not mistaken, that game, or 50. It was at least 52-7. And they went for it on fourth down late in the game.
Talking about the Patriots?
Yeah.
Belichick versus Gibbs.
That happened.
That was gross.
That was super gross. But I can't think of anything. I mean, we lost 45-0 to the Chiefs in a terrible weather game, which I was at FedEx.
I mean, what went so wrong for them? They were on a trajectory.
Who, the Giants?
Yeah.
No. They were hot trash. They played out of their minds last year with a new coach. And they weren't even that great. They were just better than anyone thought they would be. Because keep in mind, the Giants have been one of the worst teams in the NFL over the last 20 years. It's been like them and the Browns. They
rope-a-dope their way into the playoffs last year. Everybody just took them lightly.
They were totally fake. I mean, did they beat us? Sure, but they're not that great.
Here it is. Let me just give you this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8th most yards ever given up in the history of the NFL are 640 yards.
Was it the Dolphins? What about the Dolphins earlier this season when they
won 70?
That was the most. The Broncos gave up 726.
That was
that's the most ever
to the Dolphins, right?
That's the most ever.
To the Dolphins.
Wow.
Put 726 on them. Never has 7 been crossed. You got Lions in 90. Bengals 82, 2012, the Jags gave it up, 66, the Eagles gave it up, 2002, 19 Dolphins, and then...
There you go. Greg Martin gets it. They were frauds last year.
They were frauds, and he got Coach of the Year.
And he got Coach of the Year. It was just, everyone got
Daniel Jones got all the money.
It looked like they got better in the offseason.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad.
Like they did well in the draft.
Yeah.
They did. Everything.
It's a weird league.
Everything. They got a pass rusher and an offensive lineman, and you thought to yourself, "Oh wow!" And they coming off that.
Yeah.
No, they literally. I mean, as bad as it is, and we're a woe is us because we've been on the front row of woe for the last ever many years. But they're and it sucks because we've been like fighting tooth and nail to beat them on an annual basis.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it either because we've been at some of those terrible losses.
We're not blowing anybody out.
No. But their win total is at the bottom of the barrel in the NFL.
Their offense and their defense, I believe. I mean, I know their defense is the worst. Their offense is the worst in yards accumulated, 32nd. Their defense is 27th. These guys stink.
They totally stink.
Jesus, man, we got to worry about this all week. This is what we have to worry about all week.
This is
I
our
mean,
concern.
grinding, and then we're like, oh, we love these guys, man. Like, what did they do to us? But it's true. It's too late.
It's too late.
If anyone was going to run, we already had our opportunity. It's too late.
Yeah.
Everyone here, we're in. We're done. It's too late. The only guys that got to scram are up to Josh Harris.
That's right. Agreed. So it's a little early in the show, but since we've been talking about it, let's just do it. Like, what are our score predictions? Take it away. Anyone? It's free board. What do you got? You guys, what do you got? Because I mean, it'll be interesting where we're at mentally. By the way, at 4-6, we are none of us correct. You have us at 5-5. We're each at 7-3.
I had us at 5-5. What are we?
We're 4-6.
4-6. I had us at 5.
If we would have won the game, you would have been right. But we big fat didn't. Anyone? Final score?
It's going to be like watching just a sack kicking competition.
Look at this.
It's going to feel like it, and we're going to win 23-10.
Giants' point differential this season is a minus 148 points, and we're literally like envisioning the worst possible scenario.
I'm
2-8.
I'm giving it 24-13.
I think it's got to. I mean, 24-13 to me would be way closer than it should be. What did you say?
23-10.
23-10. We got a 32-10 on the board from Greg. Oh man, we're speaking. This is what I'm expecting from some Redskins.
I wanted to say 11. I wasn't going to say 11-9, but I wanted to have an 11 in there.
That would be an awful game.
Oh, it would. And
this.
It's going to be.
I think we're better than that offensively.
J Dubs has got 20-19.
We're allergic to the Giants somehow.
Why aren't we playing? We could score so many more points. Why are we not? Is it our line?
I don't know why. I feel like you're blaming
No,
me.
I'm asking. No, I'm blaming
David
you.
Kevin, what's wrong with you,
Everyone's
man?
shouting.
I feel like they played really well offensively, but still only eked out.
Nothing.
Our defense stinks.
I know our defense stinks, but that's not why our offense isn't scoring.
There's a bunch of stink ass defense.
I feel the wide
Both
receivers
these defenses
have
stink.
averaged about 1.5 drops over the last 3 games.
Yeah, sure, we've had some drops, but
Our running backs, our running game's not helping us. But man,
no, it certainly is not helping us.
I come away feeling great about the way Sam Howell plays, but we only put up mediocre points.
I got us going over 30. I'm gonna keep it on the 30 track. I got us going.
Man, you've been calling that for that week after week.
And it's coming in.
Give that man the 30.
You're also wondering why we're not scoring more points.
I am wondering that. Because I mean, the way we scored in the fourth quarter, it's kind of like, what the F was going on in the first 3 quarters of this game? But I think that I think it's 34-10. I don't know how they score a touchdown against us, other than that's our
Tommy D.
That's what we do.
It's gonna be Tommy D.
Tommy D is gonna be Tommy D. He's gonna be all well rested in the pen.
What is his butthole doing starting against us?
Clean
he's gonna
laundry.
Come out there. He's going to play the greatest game Tommy D ever played. Wait do you see? He'll be scrambling around for first downs. He's going to be all energetic.
I know.
We all know. Everyone here knows.
We all know exactly.
Let's end that shit early, though. They're going to have their little fun for a second.
Someday he's going to be at a family reunion, and they're going to play a highlight video of his NFL career, and it's going to be
He's the kid that went to
98% art
Syracuse,
this
right?
game. What's that?
His kid went to Syracuse. DeVito, right? Yeah, he went to Syracuse.
Tommy DeVito Jr.?
Yes. He was actually pretty good at Syracuse.
Wait, Tommy DeVito went to Syracuse.
Yes.
Wait, what about his kid? He has a kid? He's the guy, he's only like, he lives with his freaking mom. How does he have kids? He doesn't have any kids.
I didn't say his kid. I said this quarterback.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Went to
Okay.
Syracuse.
He went to
He was
Syracuse. I
damn
got you.
good
There's no way. If he
at
has kids,
Syracuse.
that'd be crazy.
And Illinois.
He did. He transferred.
He's been around. He's been around with a name like
He
DeVito.
finished at Illinois.
Right.
Ken Harris has got 24-13 also. I think that was yours.
24-13.
24-13. T and Ken are on the same page.
Great minds think alike,
23-10.
buddy. Hope you're doing
This
well.
kid played against
Hope
St.
you're feeling
John's.
better.
He went to Don Bosco in Jersey. We have.
He's a Don
We
Bosco.
didn't cover him in 2016,
Okay.
but we were at the game. Yes. That's funny.
Love to know his stats from that game. just
He was like, someday I'll return to this very city to dominate you.
Here's a good comment from NES Tecmo. That Philly game sucked. Wonder the turnout Sunday. That to me is very interesting. Now there's always Giants fans at FedEx, but like, what are they going to say? Are they going to spend the money to go watch Tommy DeVito in this game? I think they will.
Yeah, they will.
They'll be there.
Because a lot of Skins fans are going to give up free tickets to him. Oh, don't you? Why don't you go?
There's no one's giving up tickets anymore. The people who have tickets are going. The
Then
tickets
how all those Philly guys get in there?
because it's not sold out. It's not like
You can buy
1988
tickets.
when anyone can buy tickets now. Anybody, you get a ticket. It's a free for all. We don't have season
Are they
tickets
cheap?
sold out. Yeah,
you think about going? You think about warming up the old van for a little trip on down to Giants, Redskins?
My daughter
stay
just said
there.
the other day, have we never gone, Dad?
Well,
No time like Tommy DeVito.
I guess.
all I can you're talking,
mean,
you're
gotta
ripping
be a
off some
win.
scabs here from me and this guy because there was a time when we thought we were going to this game. We showed up to go to this game, and then Mark Sanchez showed up with his doggy purse and, and a scarf, and he became the worst quarterback I've ever seen play for the Washington Redskins in the history of my life in person. It was one of the worst days ever. I hate to bring it up, but it is at least timely because of who we're playing.
He also had an ascot and cuffed capri pants.
Yes, he did. They were cuffed capri pants.
There's only one man that gets away with an ascot.
And they make him call our games, and he calls our
Fred.
games.
That's Fred from Scooby Doo. No one else can get away with an ascot. Not around these parts.
Fred crushes it.
I mean, he's only, it's because his one and only look, and he does not ever
He
differentiate.
rocks it, dude.
Yes.
So just be careful. I mean, I'm saying there's no way in the world knock on everything, throw salt, spit. Like, we shouldn't lose this game, but all I'm saying is just be super careful. Everybody just be careful, okay?
No, pour yourself a double stiffy right from the start of this goes so we can get through the Tommy DeVito run of like, it'll be like a 10-minute real time.
Are you working?
I'm not. But
Are we going in this game? Are we all going to this game?
I would go.
I would go. I'd go to this game.
If you get the
You
girls.
guys would do it again. You run
Listen.
it back.
Listen,
Absolutely. I already went once this year.
when Tommy DeVito gets to start, we all got to rally.
We do have to rally.
I don't know. Let's see what the weather looks like.
Everyone take it easy. I mean, I went to the Chicago Bears game, which felt in many ways the way going into this game was. We were playing a winless team that couldn't put its left foot in front of its right foot
Remember how
to save their life.
confident we were going into the Chicago game?
And by the way, the other New York
There was
game.
no way we were
Hold
losing
on.
that game.
If you go back and listen,
No, it's true, it's true.
I said we all know what happens. This is going to be a horrible, horrible football game. I didn't think we would lose. I just thought it would be similar to the Carson Wentz's final days here as a starter. We won that game, and the best thing that happened in our 12-7 victory was that he broke his thumb. You remember that horrible game?
Yeah.
It was one of the worst things. It was a Thursday night just debacle of disgusting.
I think Greg Martin said that was the worst quarterbacking he's ever seen. I just feel like the Mark Sanchez game was the worst. I think Mark Sanchez was pulled from that game, if I'm not mistaken, and Josh Johnson finished it.
He did.
Was that butt fumble?
No.
Because my cousin told us on the interview that his college quarterback, his high school quarterback got benched for his college quarterback for his favorite NFL team.
That's right.
Because Josh Johnson was his college quarterback at San Diego under Harbaugh. Mark Sanchez and him grew up together in the same neighborhood and at Mission Viejo, started together. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's super cool.
And then we covered that game, and then we talked about how, well, we're not allowed to say it. Mark Sanchez is, he ain't half a bad guy.
He's not, but I just don't want him announcing. I mean, why do we get stuck with him?
I was being facetious.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. I mean, he's got the man bun, and he's trying to sound cool with his brown on brown crime line that got everyone into a fluster.
He's from Orange County.
Yes.
He's from the most glorious
Yes.
like
The OC.
neighborhood. He's just shut up, nerd.
LC the Hills.
And they don't have ascots
Laguna.
there. You
No. He needs to be stopped, and we need to stop him.
he did a pretty good job stopping himself.
All right, so we got this one covered in terms of the Giants game. Any other besides being in a place where our quarterback. The thing is, like at this point in time in Sam Howell's career, like you just feel like you always have a chance now in games with him at quarterback. I mean that's a thing.
Well, yeah, in the NFC East, he has thrown for the most yards of any quarterback, the most touchdowns of any quarterback, the most completions of any quarterback, highest percentage of any quarterback. He's doing pretty good.
He's doing pretty good.
I mean, if we would have all said here, and I always say this, but like, hey, after week 10, if we could check all those boxes, what's our record? What, are we 7-3 like I said?
Yeah.
No, shut up, dork. We're
Yeah.
4-6, and it's been a grind. It's been a grind.
It's gonna be.
It always is.
And the schedule gets harder as we move forward. We'll just take a quick peek at that one just because we can. New York Giants at home. and then that final stretch of games, which all of a sudden now there's two things that stand out on the schedule besides Dallas away, and forget about Miami at home. I'm just going to block that out for a while. Is there a possibility we could see Carson Wentz? I mean, I know Stafford's coming back, but
I don't know.
that would be so cool.
That's gonna ruin Christmas.
I'm just
He's not playing, is he?
What's that?
He's not playing, is he?
Well, they signed him, and Matthew Stafford is a
Ram.
Is made of glass right
I know
now.
he's a Ram, but is he the starter?
No, Matthew Stafford's the guy. And reports are
Coming
right now
off the
that
Mark
he's playing.
Sanchez conversation, Ken's trying to figure out a way for us to play against someone else very hateable.
Yes.
Specifically this holiday season.
Correct. And on Christmas Eve, the big behind door number 2 scenario for us this on this schedule is Aaron Rodgers is basically saying if everything goes perfectly, he's coming back, and if what he's saying is true, that means we're playing him on Christmas Eve. That's crazy terrible for us.
There's definitely some girl dating him, giving him bad info that he should play on Christmas Eve in Washington, D.C. Is it in D.C. or in New York?
It's in New York.
Even worse. This is like an elf moment with Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be terrible.
I mean,
oh, God.
you got to be a lot happier though with his current lady friend.
Now, who is it?
She's.
Is he no longer dating the witch?
I don't think so. No, I think everyone. I think that I saw. Well, at least maybe it was on some website. It said that look it up. I was under the impression that he is back in your good graces. You know, let's find out for sure. But first of all, if he was like that's. After watching that, so that's the other the thing we said before. No,
Aaron Rodgers' eye patch. All right, Mallory Edens.
Mallory Edens, yeah.
Are they dating?
She's the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks' daughter.
Yeah, she's about a 10.
Take
Nah.
it easy. I mean, she's
Nah.
for him.
What? That's not a good
I'm just,
picture.
you know,
She's got a 5 head.
There's way better pictures than that.
there's good pictures out there.
She's obviously
she's the one that he sits next to.
She's
at
obviously a
games.
gorgeous lady.
At
Let's not be
basketball
jerks.
games.
But
She's a step up from Danica Patrick.
no doubt about
Yes.
it. He's back on the right track. Congratulations, Aaron
Good job,
Rodgers.
Aaron. The other thing about the Jets, we said it before the show. It's so crazy, and I know people on. I've been texting with some of the people on the board. It is like if you're a fan of a team, and the worst possible thing happens to you 4 plays into the season, and the NFL has made a decision that they can't go back on, and you're gonna have to watch the fallout of your guy getting hurt 4 plays into the season.
Man, I was pulling for him last night.
In prime time for
He
the
almost
rest
did
of the year.
He
Like
almost
how
did
many?
it,
Yeah, but that's
and then he didn't.
that's what the Jets do every week. I mean,
Yeah.
they're so terrible to watch. Their game, I mean, it's bad. It's bad TV, and it is on prime time every week. It's the Jets
Or the Bills.
or the Bills
It's
or the
been the Jets
Broncos
and the
or the
Bills.
Raiders.
They at least get to show Aaron Rodgers the obligatory him warming up pregame.
I guess I mean, they got to change the rules. I mean, there's no defense for putting Zach Wilson on in prime time on a weekly basis. If you're a multi-bazillion dollar business, I mean that's crazy. It's crazy.
And Ken Dorsey gets fired.
And Ken Dorsey gets fired because of it. Oh, for God's sake! Is Denver good? By the way, am I just wrong about? I thought they were terrible.
They're getting better, obviously.
They've won 3 in a row.
They won 3 in a row, and they just beat Buffalo. Obviously, they boat raced us.
Buffalo's so weird, though. They're just so strange.
Did you see how they scored? They were all kind of strange scores.
Yeah.
They were, I don't know.
Russell Wilson
Russell's
is
a weird guy. I just can't figure him
He
out.
might be one of the weirdest dudes. He really is a strange bird.
Can you believe we almost gave up the
weird guy
farm for him?
is-
Thank
Can
God.
you believe he was like, I don't want to go there? We were like, well, we don't want you to come here.
You
No
and
one
Sierra,
wants any of this.
Go somewhere else.
You big doofus.
But maybe Sean Payton. Maybe Sean Payton's finally, having an effect on him. At least that's what I heard.
They're
potentially
playing
last night,
better.
what
They
he's
are
doing.
playing better. They're getting better on a week. And now, I mean, well,
Sean Payton's a good coach. He's been he's been
Super
weird.
Bowl, Super Bowl winner.
He's been weird too lately.
Yeah, he's
but
got
he's
weird
a good
stuff.
coach. So I don't know.
Didn't they lose to the Jets? I think they lost to the Jets.
They did.
That's like us losing to the Giants. It's something that you should never allow to happen. But once it happens, it can never unhappen. And it's like it's a stain on the season. That
They gave up the 8th most yards in the history of the sport.
I mean, it's
Ever.
ever.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That has to be excruciating to witness.
Jets and Raiders should have been flexed. You're right, Ken. It was terrible football. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the rules. I don't understand. I mean, it seems like the billions of dollars people are paying to put good football on, and we're left to watch Jets Raiders. Aiden O'Connell versus Zach Wilson. I mean, here you go, America. That's insane. When you could literally just like,
Well, they're
change
going
it
to be
up.
taking a dump in their pants here shortly with the amount of starting quarterbacks going down at a
Yep.
rapid rate. Like,
Yep.
I think everyone has to realize at this point, like, got to do something besides the. Can we just talk about Emmanuel Forbes' ejection for 1 second? Since
Oh,
that's where we-
Horrendous.
let's get back in.
Horrendous.
Let's get
What
back.
else is
There's a
he
couple
supposed
of
to
things
do?
from that game that we should talk. Wait, Kevin.
Please go.
All I
Have
will
at it.
say is, as soon as it happened, I turned to my daughter and I said, "He's going to get ejected for that." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Just watch. He's going to get ejected for that." Only because, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I thought he should have been ejected.
Was she super impressed when he got injected that you knew that?
No one's impressed by me around this house, T. You should know that by now. But it was just, he flew through the guy's head, and the way that it looked.
flew through. He flew over and
Yeah.
gently grazed the guy's head.
It was- I understand. Yeah.
I understand on the lower end why it was a penalty.
New York should have never made that call.
And here's the deal: if Lockett doesn't take both hands and reach up to his head, the optics of that, specifically that, and we all know it's all about image in New York and blah 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 and this league. As soon as Lockett reached for the dome, and he was fucking fine. As soon as he did that, everyone freaked out, and I knew worst case scenario was coming. I said it too. They're going to eject him. Did anyone see the hit in last night's game?
Way worse.
I was like, that's not even close. That's an
worse.
ear hole with the crown, and they threw the flag, and he was sitting there. He was like, "Yeah, I got his penalty. No big deal," which is all it should have been.
Correct.
Now we're one down at a big, huge position in a game. Like, that was absolute, total bullshit. I wanted to see him guard some of those dudes, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch him run
It
around
was.
with Lockett. I wanted to see him go up against DK. I wanted to see him compete. You pieces of shit. Why do you do this to us every week? Between KJ Henry and this and back-to-back weeks, it is humiliating to watch.
KJ Henry's was worse, in my opinion, because I mean, at least there was helmet-to-helmet contact in this scenario. He did leave his feet did leave the field. I don't think he was intentionally launching
No.
himself at all.
No.
And their heads happened to hit each other. And what I hate about it is that it's going to change the way he plays.
I don't think
From
so.
that- well,
It shouldn't. I hope
What
not.
does he do
I
in
don't
the
think
next?
it will.
What does he do in the next scenario?
Well, that was just such a bang play. It's not like you can study it. You can just hope to have your head in the best position because you know how fast those guys are moving. T. I mean,
That's my point.
yeah. There's not.
This
No,
was
I don't
not-
think you
this
can
was not an
correct
egregious
it.
type
No,
of thing.
that's why I hate it so
I
much.
even hate the fact that it's unintentionally a flag. Even it's a football play.
I know.
Here's what bothers me so much about the way our games are officiated. When it comes
We
to
get screwed relentlessly.
Yes, when it comes to quote unquote New York ringing in, right? So like back 15 years ago or whatever, when you started seeing like the red zone, this was like when you really started to understand. All right, not only is the NFL printing money, like a legit money printer, just printing money as much as they want, whenever they wanted it. You had all these cable networks. Every single one has their own red zone channel, right? Every single one has a team of people watching every single game with directors and producers and everybody, and they go to this game and that game and this game, and one guy's directing it all, and it's Hansen and Feliciano, and everyone has a different one. So there's multiple operations on the cable side of people watching every single game with people intently paying attention to everything, so they know exactly when to move around. And initially the thought was, well, how does like the NFL, who's making all this money, why don't they have the same thing? And it turns out they put that same thing into effect, and yet it doesn't seem like there's somebody watching our game. It doesn't seem that, because that ejection doesn't strike me as someone who was paying attention. And then if you compound that, so then you go back to the Philadelphia game when you had the catch that wasn't a catch, that they ruled a catch, and then they said, oh, by the way, that's not a catch, but we're going to review it, and it's still not. That was total crap. And then the following week, when our guy, James Smith-Williams, goes down, and they don't decide that they're going to change an obvious ruling, this game had one too. With 1 minute and 48 seconds left, Antonio Gibson's running up the right sidelines, and it was a yard away, yard and a half. They spotted him. It was the worst spot ever. I know multiple people texted me about this, and they had time. Somebody that was the spot where if bare minimum the booth should have reviewed it, because it was so obviously a bad spot. Now I'm not saying it would have been a first down, but it would have been on the line. And they did like 3 replays, and you're like, wait a second, I've just watched New York call in 2 different times against us, and it went the wrong way. And why? Like, how is in the fourth quarter of a game that's in play? How is that? How is
the
New York?
NFL's rigged?
Or it might have been a crank call.
The NFL, no,
Could have been
the
a crank
NFL's
call.
rigged. There's evidence every week that it's
What are
rigged.
they watching? What
The
is New
Bills
York
game.
doing? Who's there?
Rigged.
The Bills game?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Maybe the
Bills
guys
game.
watching our game are drinking, which if you're sitting up there all day long, it is Sunday.
That I'm okay with. Drink away,
Yeah, well-
but at least have someone watching it. I just feel like
that's what I'm saying.
the TV's on in the corner, but like they're all watching a different game. And then someone's like, "Oh, by the way, something happened in the Washington game." But by the time they get there, it's too late. And I'm sorry, but Ron Rivera still, now that we're kind of getting full circle and talking about this game, and he's just still not there. I just don't understand. With the arms folded, and he's not getting fired up about the things he needs to get fired up about.
The 5th oldest head coach in the NFL. We determined that last week with the Encyclopedia of Donnelly. He is 60 years old. He is the 5th
He looks
oldest
so younger.
head coach. Yeah. It's Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, someone else, and then Ron Rivera at 60.
Pete Carroll is sneaky old.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'm not trying to say I don't want, air quotes, Bill Belichick as our next head coach, but I don't. I mean, why would we do that?
So not fun.
He wants to come back to Annapolis, put a big boat in the water, and coach the most local team. Well, then go to Baltimore, sir.
Yeah, or coach the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Baltimore's
Just go
doing
back to
all
the
right right
Naval
now.
I know. But
They're not in need.
the Baltimore Annapolis connection is more than the DC Annapolis
Mm-hmm.
connection. And if he wants to go home, if that's what it's all about, and that's where he spent some time, and then that fine. I
You
just
drop your
can't-
boat over there and deal.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
They're talking about my
there's no
hometown.
ego alley over there in Deal, bro.
No, there's
You
not.
want to come rolling through, and you're somebody. Imagine Bill Belichick with that. He's got a cute little lady friend of
Yeah.
his, and she's gonna want to be front row and center, from what I understand.
I would love to see him back at the Naval Academy. I think that would be like the coolest thing. To me, that's the answer. Like, that would be great. That's where his dad was, but not
The
here.
brand new Naval Academy coach just called. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah, well, you know what? If Bill Belichick wants that job,
You're just hacking.
if he wants it, the
Put him
school of the
on the
blind,
list.
put him on
School
the
of the
list. The school of the
blind.
blind wants a piece.
Put him on the Bram list. Sorry,
Bram's
T,
outta
babe.
here.
Sorry, T. He's on the Bram list.
I mean, I tell you
Who
what,
else you gonna offend the rest of the night?
I'm working on it.
Okay,
I want to believe that I want to believe in the idea of the New York calling into the referees. I think that's a brilliant thing, and it's fine. It's the league deciding what's going on. I love it. I think it's great. I just don't think they're dedicating their resources to it like Comcast is for their Red Zone channel, or DirecTV, or any of them for that matter. I feel like everyone's doing it. I feel like I watch more games than quote unquote New York. I don't even what the hell is going on in New York.
Are you now doing hand quotes for the actual city of New York?
Yeah, for
You're
New
getting
York.
out of
I don't know.
hand.
I don't believe they're in New
You
York.
wily bastard, you.
I'm no longer believing that it's New York, and I'm sitting on my hands. I can't do any more air quotes. I'll fly away. Yeah,
They're at Rogers' house.
They're at Aaron Rodgers' house.
No. Roger
Goodell's
Goodell's
house.
house.
I don't know. He's with that sweater and with the fire going. I don't know if you can.
You ever hung out at a guy named Roger's house?
No.
Me neither.
Dude, there's no windows in
Never
that
was.
house. Not a single
I'm
window.
guessing.
All the doors locked from the outside.
Sorry
careful.
to all Rodgers out
Be
there.
careful.
I'm just saying, I've never done it.
Those couches they could tell some stories.
Well, I mean,
you do not want to hear those
Mr.
stories.
Rogers seemed like a good enough fella.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna go with that. Jets released running back Michael Carter from EO. Yeah, I mean, someone had to go. Someone has to pay the price. I love that Salah is like, we're gonna make some changes, but not at quarterback or offensive coordinator, because those aren't our problems. That's not where we have issues. It's so great.
We promise.
That's New York. That's the real New York. That's the New York I'm used to. The New York saying like, F you, we're going to change something, but it's not going to be what you think we're going to change or what we need to change. It's just going to be, we're going to cut some 5'8" running back who wasn't playing because we already have enough guys. I love it.
No matter how many times you're guided not to get into it with the media, not to have at it, not to let them affect you. It's impossible there. He is specifically doing this on purpose.
Yes.
So as not to go back on the fact that he says he stands by him, the locker room stands by. Now, every week he's like, oh, you son of a bitch. Just make a play out there, Zachy boy.
He does from time
Every
to
now
time.
and then he does.
He does. He has ability.
I agree.
He has no consistency.
Yeah, he goes off. He goes off on like a bender, if you will, and you're like,
Kind of looks like a
what's
little
happening?
deer with headlights out there. So different from Hal.
Here's a stat
who
for
looks
you.
to be so under control and
He really does.
and focused in.
It's remarkable.
I mean,
Courtesy-
Zach sometimes has those eyes like, what's
Courtesy of
happening?
Greg Martin.
Why is everybody so fast?
Zach Wilson has thrown a touchdown on 20 of his 931 career passes. That's a 2.1% touchdown rate. It's the lowest in NFL history among players with at least 900 passes. I went back and I even looked up some guys who I was like, well, this guy was terrible. Like I looked up Danny Werfel. Danny Werfel had 12 touchdowns on 350 passes in his career. I mean, extrapolated, it's certainly better than Zach Wilson.
I got one for you, and you guys are gonna love it.
Okay.
A local man, Mike Krzyzek.
okay.
A longtime coach. His son's a coach. He coached in the college ranks. This man was a starting quarterback at the University of Maryland, a St. John's College High School graduate. He started one game for the Washington Redskins. I want to say the early 70s. Right before Theismann and all the guys. So Theismann's the third. Anyways, Krzyzek starts one game. He has thrown 154 complete passes. 154 passes in the NFL without a touchdown is the all-time record is in the history of the NFL.
That's great.
Most passes thrown as a starting quarterback without throwing a touchdown is Mike Krzyzek.
Krzyzek.
So has he ever
and he's
thrown
a St. John's cadet.
Has he ever thrown a touchdown?
Never.
So he never threw
Ever
one.
in the NFL. 154
So he's
passes. St. John's,
he's
Maryland,
Graham-
and the Washington Redskins.
Moonlight Graham of
Otto
football.
Moonlight Graham.
Of football, who just needs that one. He needs that one touchdown.
He coached in college football forever. He had a hell of a career. He moved out of the area. His son, I think, was the coach of South Florida like 10 years ago, and he was the offensive coordinator. But
Was he the premier of Russia there in the 50s and 60s?
I don't think he was.
Oh, that's Khrushchev.
Yeah, there's an F on the end of that one.
Okay.
I know this, though. Cadet Terp Redskin. And then I can't believe that stat just popped up. I'm not sure what, but I know that.
See, we accessed it back through the back door.
Ray.
Yes. But that's
Ray's
like,
here.
That's
Hey,
about
Ray.
Zach. That's about Zach.
yeah,
That's
Zach
that one's
Wilson
about
brings
Zach.
it up. I mean,
Yes.
he's having a career for the ages. And I mean, we saw Bill Belichick bench Mac Jones, and you know, it's like you always get to the point with certain guys, and we've gotten to the point with guys like that where it's like they get benched, and you're kind of like at some point you're. I think I think you watched this weekend because I was watching that Patriots game. I think we all were. You asked us if we were watching that game, and you think it seems like the end of the line for him as a starter. You know, for people to think of him as a starter.
He'll start again.
Of course he will.
He'll have an opportunity.
He will.
And he'll do it somewhere where he has way more fun with sunglasses, something to drink,
Yeah.
and there's going to be chicks everywhere. He's going the other way. He's had enough of this Belichick experiment.
He's out.
He's ready to just bust out under the scenes, have some fun, and play some ball.
Unless Belichick goes. Well, actually, you know what? They need to tear it all down.
I feel like Mac he's from the SEC. He's a Southern boy. He's got frat boy stamped all over his body. He's got to get back home to his roots. He's going to go
Where would
back
he
up
go?
someone for a year and get a job as a starter in the next year. He'll do that little
He should go to the Jets.
Jaguar, sit behind Trevor for a second, and then go somewhere when
Yeah.
they start getting good. He's going to have to do a little bit one of those. He's not.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's going to take him and say you're our guy.
No.
right now.
Exactly. That's
but
what
I
I'm
do
saying.
agree. He will be
If
someone's
they keep
guy
doing that
again.
with a guy like Baker Mayfield, Why can't they
That's
do
why I
it with
agree.
a guy like
No, that's what I'm saying. Because
He's
there's
better
15,
than
there's
Baker.
15 guys. I agree. There's 15 guys out there right now that are starting as backups in the last week or so, something like that.
Yeah.
So no doubt he'll get the opportunity, but it's not going to be at some great. It's going to be interesting.
The best thing is you're rolling out Zach Wilson every week, almost out of spite for the media. You know, when Sal's like, you know what, I'm just gonna send him out again for the
this
whole
like
game.
keeps you up.
But I'm saying, and then yet Dobbs has been traded twice for pennies on the dollar for a 6th rounder here, a 7th round swap there. He played great for Arizona as well as you could ask him to play. Then he goes to Minnesota, and now he's killing it for a team that needs wins, and he's a feel good story. And you're like, wait a second, if you can have that guy for nothing, what the hell are what are these other teams even doing?
And he is on pace to rush for your Sam Howell drive.
By 600 yards.
7, I believe.
Dobbs
Oh no, I'm saying I predicted 600 from Sam.
I thought it was 7.
No, 600 is ridiculous enough.
You amended it because I think 7. How about this?
check
though?
the tape.
Lamar Jackson is 481 on the season, and Dobbs is 2nd.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's nuts.
That's crazy, man. What a stud. 368 yards rushing. He's been making plays and winning games. By the way, we saw him twice in the first 3 weeks of the season. We saw him in a preseason game for someone else.
Yep.
A regular season game
For Cleveland, right?
For Cleveland in
Yep.
the preseason. Then where did he come from? Arizona started
Week
against
1.
us. So we saw him 2 out of 3 weeks, and now he's out there going nuts for Minnesota. God bless that guy. That's cool.
Absolutely. It's an awesome story, but it also tells you it's like, what if you could have
He's also
Dobbs
like a
for that.
NASA intern. Like he's ridiculously
Well,
smart.
they called him a pastronaut. That's what it was. NASA got involved because
You got to be smart to understand that many offices in one season.
Very true, but guys, when they're that smart, when they come up with stuff like pastronaut, you realize that their sense of humor might have gotten skipped out
Yeah.
on when God was doling out all the advantages.
Astronaut.
You'll be a pastronaut, Matt. Shut up and do the O-ring stuff. Blast us off into space.
Yeah. I mean,
Astronaut. Come on, man.
Okay, so am I putting you guys on the spot if I ask you
Yes.
who in the league is impressing you? The young, besides Stroud, besides Dobbs.
Why do you take people off the table? All right.
Well, because we already talked about them. Like Will Levis, for example. He's not blowing anyone straight up, but I love watching him
The
play.
page that first game.
The ball. Do you see the way the ball comes out of his hand? It looks like
it comes out of his hand just like it first did when I first saw Carson Wentz and when I first saw Josh Allen. The way that they throw the ball, it looks like a pill. It literally looks like a little
it's
pill.
crazy, and he's jacked. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? He's a monster of a human being. He's getting his ass beat. He's getting hit every play. He's getting sacked constantly. But he looks like he's built for it. And I don't know. I'm interested to see.
Tell you what, Witherspoon looked damn good.
He's been looking good. Like he's been looking at that all season. I think he's defensive rookie of the year.
We all
top
talked
2.
about how much we wanted to draft him and loved him and wish he could have
looked
slipped. And
damn
blah,
good.
blah. Yeah, he's a badass. Trevor Lawrence also is a badass, and I love the way he's playing football right now. He looks like an old school throwback, prototypical NFL stud, and he can scramble a little bit when you need him. Stands in that pocket. Dude's brilliant, and he's got Jacksonville looking like a legit franchise, and they got a lot to build around with him.
How can we not say Tua?
Of course, he's killing it.
So I'm thinking more along the lines of like the younger guys.
Yeah, like Tua is more of like a under.
He's an established
sort of a
younger
badass.
guy.
Yeah, but he's been leading the league in he's been a badass. We're talking about this more than something that's like I was going with someone off the.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well,
Addison in Minnesota.
Jordan Addison, he's coming along. I mean, again, it's like the greatest situation ever for Dobbs. You go there, and Justin Jefferson's going to be coming back healthy soon. You got him and Jordan Addison plus Hawkinson. I mean, Hawkinson is an absolute
Dobbs
stud.
just made himself, and because hope exists, a ton of money.
Ton of money.
The hope that he brings to a franchise that in need, and there's so many franchises in need of hope.
Well, not for nothing, but Kirk Cousins' contract is up at the end of the season, and we all, well, not we all. I mean, I was the one. I mean,
They're gonna give him.
They should.
They are.
They should, and that was what we were saying that they were
They're
going to do,
gonna.
and he's going to get his contract, and it's going to be guaranteed, and it's going to be.
Don't you guys both believe that they're gonna? Because they should.
Well, yes, and also because of what I mean. How do you like? You would have to have blinders on to like not see in the league that that Kirk Cousins, you're going to be doing just fine with him at quarterback.
But also, that's a big old price tag. But they also understand that the investments they've got around him. They've got Justin Jefferson ain't his contract. His rookie contract ain't getting any longer as the days go by.
That's right.
So, gosh, you can't waste any Justin Jefferson years without a guy like Kirk Cousins. So.
But okay, so then the only thing, the counter argument or the devil's advocate side of that would be: does Dobbs prove to anyone in that front office, or like, well, wait a second, maybe we can get away with something less?
Dobbs has been at 3 franchises in 3 months. I don't think he's worried about where. He just when. If not now, when do I sign that big fat huge check that says J Dobbs on it?
But it's not from Minnesota.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't disagree.
Unless something goes wrong and Kirk Cousins is done forever or something sours but. They love him there. Everyone knows he's going to do whatever he possibly can to get back in this hyperbaric chambers and this lack of doing anything, putting anything bad into his body. Like he's going to be, if anyone can heal quickly.
Well, he's not going to do at his rehab with Aaron Rodgers. That's for sure.
He shouldn't.
He's not doing.
He absolutely should.
Bro, when you're 40 dating a 26-year-old, you need to not be hanging out with anyone else but that 26-year-old. You can't be hanging out with freaking Kirk Cousins' crazy ass.
Yeah, something tells me Kirk.
This young lady's
Aaron
26.
Don't see eye to eye.
If you're
outside
Kirk,
of football,
you want to be around Aaron. If you're Aaron, you're like, yeah, don't come anywhere near me.
He's dating a 26-year-old heiress. Honey, I'm going out with Kirk Cousins. No, his wife said that's a wrap. There'll be no more of that.
How many calls has RG3? What's the over-under of how many calls RG3 has made on his own behalf, him or his agent this season? Over-under, anyone?
you think he's trying to get back in?
Dude, of course he is. Like even if the number's 1, he has. Dude, there's so much shitty quarterback play in the league. There's no way a guy like him looks in the mirror and says, "I could be better than Zach Wilson." I could throw no touchdown passes and lose games 11-9.
He hasn't played football since 2015.
That's not true. He played for the Ravens like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was the Baltimore Ravens backup up until 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm being a little bit tongue in cheek, but I'm also being serious. Like I bet you someone made a call for him. I'm gonna say the over under. It's over under 0.5. I think he called a team.
I have my agent make 5 calls a year. Just to throw it out there.
There you go. And
RG3 is the average looking white girl.
Just to see if anybody bites.
Right. See, same thing. Same thing for Robert Griffin.
All right, guys. I mean, I think we've kicked it around. We're sitting right at an hour. We did it.
I didn't kick anything, but
You kicked some things.
I did.
You did. Yeah. I saw you. 34-10. I think we all agreed would be the score of some kind. We got this. Not throw the salt.
Oh, sweet baby. Just in the holiday season, don't bring switches and ashes in mid-November. If we get swept by the Giants, I will. I
mean, dude,
I will wear.
I'm
that.
gonna watch this by myself.
I will wear that
I've
Borat
decided
costume and slow grind on this thing for 45 minutes.
God, I never rooted for a loss.
I might
before.
sit on it, just let it play out, and then go real fast. Just tune everything out.
Sit on it and go real fast.
When we get the
Gonna need some
video
more of
back with all the hand gestures there, we can put words in.
Yeah.
And say we want that kind of match. That's because that's gonna be fun.
There will be muffs. Muffsgiving is on the way. Muffsgiving. He's Tim
We're
Strachan.
gonna do a draft. No, we can't. We're not on air next week.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually programming note. The three of us will be in Annapolis. We'll be at Bill Belichick's future stadium, the Naval Academy. So everybody out there is watching. We'll be calling the WCAC Boys Championship between the DeMatha Catholic Stags and the Good Counsel Falcons. It actually, for high school football, it's about as good as it gets in terms of talent on the field. There's going to be NFL players
number
out
1
there.
versus number 2.
DeMatha's coach has 20 NFL players. Right now, Good Counsel has 4 guys ranked in the top 100 of their position. Only 3 teams in the country have that. Those are the 2 teams that are playing against each other, for God's sake.
It's going to be awesome.
Ridiculous.
It's only $11. It's only $11. And it goes to support the league and our ability to stream not just more football and basketball, but all the high school sports year round. I know if you're on our channel tonight, then you saw we did boys and girls soccer. We did girls volleyball, girls field hockey. We got boys football. So we listen. We're serious about this, and so we appreciate your support. If you can see fit to be out there with us next Tuesday night.
If you're a real fan, we're going to be doing it Friday night as well.
It will be there Friday. It will be Friday night. If you're a real fan, Friday night, Archbishop Carroll and St. Mary's Riken at PG
Metro
Sports and Learning,
Conference
the Metro Conference Championship. That is right, T. So 2 games, $22. Hey, it goes to a great cause, and we appreciate that. Order your we got Thanksgiving muff pies coming our way. What do you got? You saw that too?
I'm thinking one of the greatest segues I've ever been.
Order your Thanksgiving muff pies. $22.
Yeah, we got to say we got. All right,
22.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll be back. He's Tim Strachan.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
He's Kevin Ricca.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all this stuff.
I'm Ken Marangolo, and I am thankful that it's Tuesday night. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks from this very spot. We're still live.
Oh, that muff pie I had was awesome.
It was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. It was Kevin's muff pie.
It's an old family recipe.
It was the oldest family recipe. It was fresh, super fresh.
Mom said, don't bring it this year. I don't know. I have no idea why.
It's a little chewy.
Drop it off at the Strachan's, I guess.